Hi there, YouTubers, and I'm going to do a weaving video finally. People have been pestering me about that. At least a couple of friends on Facebook saying, when am I going to have another weaving video? Well, it's going to start now. Here's the pattern. This is not the right colors, but it is what I worked out for the threading up there and the lift plan here, because I'm going to do this on my Ashford Table Loom. So we'll get it started. The goal is to make a wool scarf, a wool winter scarf. One of the comments on my last video, the snow blowing video, was to show the video where I had made the green scarf that I was wearing. I can't do that because I made that scarf before I put my very first YouTube video up, which was almost 10 years ago. That scarf's older than that. But this will be the same weight of yarn from the same company, different pattern, but that was a 2x2 twill. This will be a 2x2 point twill, but it'll be very much the same. So you'll get some idea of what I did to make that scarf by seeing what I do with this scarf. That scarf, I used 4 yards of warp thread and made it 12 inches wide. When I made it in the reed, it was 12 inches. This is going to be, instead of 4 yards, it's going to be 3.5 yards of warp, and I'm only going to 11 inches wide because that fits nicely with the way I want to do the point twill. But it's pretty close. So that's the plan. Let's start by measuring out the warp. Okay, I'm at the warping board. I've rearranged this a little bit differently than usual because it's super bright outside from sun reflecting off the snow, and my usual position you wouldn't be able to see anything because the camera was picking up that brightness. Here's what I'm going to use for one of my 3 colors of warp. The yarn is Harrisville Designs Highland Weight, and it is the color is called Teak. An 8-ounce cone like this has 450 yards on it. So let me set this cone on the floor and we're going to start warping. Here's the warping board. I'm going to start on this end, follow the orange thread over like this, back like this, up like this, tie it off this way. It gets me 3.5 yards. I know it's not the easiest thing to see, but we'll do what we can here. So I'm going to simply tie a little slip knot into the end of this chunk of warp. Slip that over one of the pegs. Someone commented a while back that they always start at the top and work down. I tend to start at the bottom and work up on a warping board. I don't think it makes a heck of a lot of difference, but it's just how I do it. I mean, you get the same result. So we'll do this. Come on, thread, don't get caught. Cone keeps falling over. Then it doesn't unwind decently. Okay, so we'll do this again like this. Go up over to here, make my cross. I need 24 threads in this color at this time, and since each trip up and back is 2, means I've got to make 12 up and back trips like this. Well, you get the idea. I'm going to turn the camera off until I get a little bit farther along. Okay, YouTube, this is going to be hard to do because I don't want to stand in front of the camera, but I need to get close enough to do some work here. So, set that down. I've got the threads going like this, back like this, you can't see this side, over to this side, up like this, over around. I make over and under this one, make my cross, come back on this one here. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, so I've got 12 return loops, which gives me 24 threads here, and I'm going to tie them off into bundles to make it easier for me to carry this over to the loom and not have my threads get all disorganized. So I'm just going to tie a slip knot around the cross. You see it's around the cross there, and I just put a little loop slip knot, no problem. Then I go down, and you're not going to see this because I'm at the other end of the warping board. Just tie a knot there to hold it in place, a little choke knot. A little choke knot on that side. And we'll do one over here where you can see it. Right here. Little choke knot. Now I can grab my scissors, cut the end off of this batch of threads from the big spool that I've been unwinding from, and I'll be able to take this off of here. Let's see if I can back this camera up just enough so you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to take this off of here, just put it in my hands. What have I done? Okay, that's fine, I've got that. And I'm going to grab these two pieces like this and walk over to the loom. So here I am over at the loom. I'm going to take one of these two batches, just hang it over the first lever up here, put the other one over the second. And then I'm just going to drop the rest of this on the floor for a couple of minutes until I get back over here to work on it. Because I'm going to be threading it through the reed, and I have to go get a reed to put onto the loom. So those are there, and I'm going to do the same kind of measuring warp and bringing over here with all the rest of it going across all my 11 inches worth. Okay, so Ashford Loom, I'm going to loosen the wing nuts that are behind here, then this bar moves up and down. I've got my 12 dent reed, put that there, lift this up over the top of it, put that down, tighten up the wing nuts. There we go. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only going to be using the first 4 shafts. So let me go get the pattern so I can find out what my threading is going to be. Now, well, it doesn't matter now because I'm only going to go through the reed. All right, YouTube, you can see I finished slaying the reed with all my threads here, all 100 and I think there's 33 of them. I've forgotten the exact number. Anyways, they're all slayed in there. I've got 3 different colors of warp. Tied into just a slip knot here to hold it in place temporarily in bunches until I start going through from this side. I'll sit in back of it and go through the heddles to get myself set up. and it's a very simple point twill on 4 shafts. So I'll get it started, and then I'll turn the camera on looking over my shoulder and let you see how I'm threading just a few of these heddles. Okay, I've already threaded heddles with almost half of this warp. My last thread that I've done was on shaft number 3, so I'm going to go this way, shafts 4, 3, 2, 1, then 4, 3, 2, 1, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, I'm at the back, so shaft number 1 is farthest away from me. This is shaft 8, but I'm only using the first 4 on this pattern because it's just a straight point twill. I figured I'd wait until the point where I'm using the brightest color thread so that you'd be able to see this best. So I want to go 4, 3, 2, 1, pick up my thread in my hand. I wonder if I can zoom you in just a little bit more. There we go, pick up my thread, go through the hole in the heddle like that, pull through, grab the next thread, the next heddle, push that aside, next thread, next heddle, there we go, grab the next thread. So this one is now on shaft 1. Push that aside. Grab the next 4 heddles out from the side. There we go, I've got 4 of them. And we'll go 4, 3, 2, 1 again. Oh my goodness. I've got one out of sequence. Let's undo this one. I pulled the wrong thread through. I would have had crossed threads had I not spotted that. So we'll put that one through 1. Now we'll grab the next thread and go for shaft 4. And shaft 3. I think you get the idea of what I'm doing. There's no point in boring you with going through all of this. Once I get about 11 or 12 threads, I'll tie them into a bunch at the back, kind of like I've got these tied right now. You can see there's a knot in there. I just tie them together, and then when I do put them onto the back beam, I can just connect them all at once. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, etc. So it's enough for now. We'll show you more as soon as I get to another interesting stopping point. Well, YouTubers, the heddles have all been threaded through, and I'm just beginning to wind on. So I just thought I'd show you there's nothing magical to this. With this hand, I'm holding some tension onto the warp, And I'm going to use a few sticks to toss in here as it first goes on, just to keep it a little bit even. And I'm not going to be able to wind the whole thing on all at once. I'll have to go to the other side and take a few choke ties off of it, but that's minor. I hope that the fact that this is winding turns out visible on the video. I have no idea, but I can see I'm only going to get another 2 or 3 inches before. Yep, there's a knot, a choke tie knot on the other end, so now I got to go around that end. Let's go. As I'm putting stuff on the warping board, once I get a batch done over there, I put these choke ties on just to keep things together while I take it over to the loom. But then as I'm winding on, I've got to remember to remove these. So they're just little pieces of brightly colored yarn that are around tying batches of warp threads together. And we'll just kind of comb these a little bit just to get some of the twist out of some of these things. How did that one get so twisted? I don't know. Anyways, you can see the stuff I'm doing. I'll go around to the back of the loom and wind down another couple of feet and then come out and comb this out again. There we go. And I'll show it to you again when I get everything wound on. Okay, so I'm finally starting to put the tie the warp onto the front wind-up beam the way I do it. I know a lot of people actually tie it around there. I don't. I like this method because I can make adjustments a little bit easier. And I know I'm going to make an adjustment to this. I'm going to tighten it up and I'm going to shorten these by a little bit, but got to find out which one's the longest first. Okay, so I'm going to shorten I'll loosen the back and retighten. That's close enough. So I just tie off this. And I can what I'm trying to do is just feel that they're all about the same amount of tension, and I feel pretty close actually. Nothing's really loose. I'm going to move it forward so I've got some fringe left, so I can put fringe on the edge of this, twisted fringes. Then I'll be ready to start weaving. Fantastic.